You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, bar, arcade, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
Welcome everyone to episode 21 of MC True Long Island Story. I am your host, the internet champion, always ready, Matt Cardona. What is that you got there in your hand, Mark?
We got a stronger seltzer lime that I've had plenty of.
Oh, baby.
Happy 4th of July to all the fans out there. Drank a lot of these on 4th of July, and I know you did too. Had a nice little party, right?
I did have a little get-together at my house. It was nice that, you know, parties are accepted now. You're not trying to sneak them. You're not getting weird, messages on social media like, how dare you socialize with people, like stuff like that.
Right.
It was fun. A lot of PBRs, a lot of stronger seltzers, a lot of burgers, a lot of hot dogs.
Hell yeah. Perfect. 4th of July. And we're talking about 2011, the 4th of July weekend of 2011 this week. But we gotta start this show off hot because I kind of messed up. I messed up last week. I said early on in the show many times that we are going to cover this pipe bomb because I think it is literally the CM Punk 2011 Summer Punk is congruent with the growth of the Z True Long Island Story, and I think it's all part of the same movement. And so I really wanted to cover the pipe bomb, but when I did my research real quick, I glossed it over. I mistook it for this. I thought the pipe bomb was this week. It is not. It was
Vegas. Right?
It was last. It happened in Vegas, but Vegas, it was the same show. Remember we talked about that last week?
Yeah.
There was a live Raw in Vegas and then a taped Raw in Vegas, so I got it mixed up. The pipe bomb was, in fact, last week. I mentioned, it's so ridiculous. If you listen, I go, R-Truth beats Cena in a tables match. That's nothing really happened. I'm literally like one of the most pivotal promos in pro wrestling I glossed over. Last week, and thanks to D Freedom, he did a little research for me on this whole thing. Last week, at the end of Raw, John Cena versus R-Truth in a tables match. CM Punk interferes, causes R-Truth to win said tables match, and then cuts the famous pipe bomb promo where he really kind of broke the fourth wall. And I'm watching this promo while I'm doing the research here, and it's like, man, a lot of people have like almost taken their entire style from this. And I think this is one of the first times that somebody like really broke the fourth wall, talked about being, complaining about things or whatever he did. And even the inflection in like Punk's voice and the way he talked in this promo is so widely used nowadays. I just thought it was very interesting.
Punk was somebody who he definitely had his finger on the pulse. And with this promo, obviously, come on, guys, like, it was part of the show, and he's talking in storyline, but so much of what he said was blurring the lines.
Yes.
Like what is storyline, what's not, and that's what made it so interesting. And I think what made Punk so relatable, not only to like the boys in the back, but like the fans. Like, is he really like talking about Triple H and Stephanie and Vince like that? Like, you couldn't tell. And I think that's when wrestling's at its best, when like you aren't sure what's real and what's not.
Sure.
And it was groundbreaking, that pipe bomb, and still 10 years later, people still talk about it.
Yes, and really, he's saying some of the same things you're saying in this promo. So he says, "Why am I not in WrestleMania? I am the best wrestler. Why am I not on the opening credits of the show when I'm the best wrestler, et cetera, et cetera?" And you are over here saying, like, why am I just not even on Raw with all this fan base?
So, like, we kind of had the same message but his was obviously on a much larger scale. He's worrying about the main event of WrestleMania, and I'm worried about just getting on Raw. But the message was, similar, if not the same, in the sense that we both felt like we deserved more, and we both worked very hard. Neither of us wanted anything handed to us, and the fans gravitated towards both of us, and also, Daniel Bryan at this time.
Yes, for sure. So this happens. Now, again, this is a very weird situation, but they do this live Raw, and they have a hot angle at the end of this Raw. And then I remember this happening. Talking about it last week, I kind of forgot, but I remember specifically listening to like podcasts that week and being like, well, this is crazy. It's lit up the wrestling world, this hot angle, but they don't really have a time to react to it because the Raw is already in the can, basically. The Raw that you're going to see on Monday, they're reacting to it the way they think they should be reacting to it, not taking into account that it literally lit the wrestling world by storm. So this happens that night. Is there any scuttlebutt? Are people like talking about it at all? Or it was like good promo? Or was it like, holy crap?
I mean, we're there. Obviously, like, it's part of the show. We know that.
Yes.
Right, but it's still a great promo. I'm not taking anything away from it. You know, 10 years later, it still holds up. Yep. I watched it. I forget who posted it. Maybe it was like WWE on Fox or something. Someone posted it. It's still great. And it's crazy that a lot of his message that he's trying to get across, like, still kind of rings true 10 years later.
Right.
Which is kind of weird.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily remember watching it live. I'm sure I did. Maybe I didn't. I was back. I think that particular Raw, and maybe I have my years messed up, but I'm pretty sure that Raw, like, I'm supposed to just be there for Raw and go home.
Yeah.
But Johnny Ace tells me I got added to the tour, and I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm going to be gone for a week, and I only have clothes for today.
Oh my! So what did you do?
So I had to go to like shopping in Vegas the next day before the flight.
And then you only had one wrestling set of gear?
Unless I'm mixing up a time where maybe we went overseas, like from Vegas before.
Yeah.
It definitely happened once where I had to go and I had to like buy all clothes at the airport. And like, I'm pretty sure, I'm almost 100% positive it's this time. Like, I remember there's like some sort of mall in Vegas. I went to like, I forget where, and I bought all this underwear and stuff like that because I needed clothes. I vividly remember that, like buying like just everything really for the whole week.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Yeah,
probably don't have the baggage that you should. That's crazy.
Of course not. But that's the wrestling business, right?
Yeah. All right, so the business that night promo happens, business as usual. Punk cut a good promo. We've got a hot angle. Are you aware, as wrestlers or the WWE, is there any talk about like, oh, there is something here. Everybody is talking about this thing. Are you aware of that? Are people talking about that?
I think like this is still the infancy of social media, but you still are seeing what people are saying. You know, it's definitely a big deal.
Okay, all right. Did you and CM Punk ever talk about your paths and concerns?
I'm sure like we would ride together quite often. So I'm sure it came up. I don't think we'd ever like compare like his track and my track, like how we just did earlier.
Right.
But yeah, like shooting the shit with the boys, And Punk is someone that I rode with a lot. At one point, I did consider him a really close friend. We've kind of, as certain people do, drift apart, whatever. It is what it is. I think Punk is great. If I saw him today, I'd probably give a big hug,
Yep.
But do I talk to him every day? Absolutely not. But yeah, we used to ride together when Brian and I first got called up to the main roster. We would ride with Punk, and I think it's because Punk, just wanted the free car. Because if you're just getting called up, you get the free car for like 90 days or whatever.
Yep.
And we were all in Louisville, so we rode with him, and it was great riding with him. A, because you could pick his brain and stuff, and B, because like we were new on the roster, and he was kind of new. He'd been there for like a year or so, But it was like, he'd help break the ice. Like, for instance, when we went to Batista's party that one time that I talked about a couple episodes ago, he brought us in. Right. So, yeah, Punk's great. And we bonded a lot through, like, the nerd stuff, like he's a big comic guy. Not that I'm a big comic guy, but he could appreciate, like, the toys, for instance, and vice versa.
And we talked early on in the podcast, he was one of the first guys to retweet your stuff.
Absolutely, which was huge back then, because even though social media was in its infancy, I believe that, if somebody told you to do something, you were more inclined to do it because you weren't used to someone saying, hey, watch this. Mm-hmm. Now, goddamn, how many times do I watch this video a day?
Yeah.
Whether it be like, from any of our podcast network shows, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But like
100%.
Back then, if someone's saying, watch this, oh, well, CM Punk is saying, watch this, I should watch it.
Right. All right. So those hold weight a little bit more back in 2011 than they do now.
And now, bro, we were literally, before we got on air, we're talking about how we can schedule posts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, now you could type one thing and have it scheduled to come out, 25 times throughout the week.
Right.
It's different.
All right, cool. So there's the pipe bomb. Obviously, things keep going through the end of the year with all the people that sort of are fighting the same fight.
He's the first Broski of the week, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah,
that's right.
And all the people are fighting the same fight. You, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, CM Punk. Like, is sort of a new wave of people that the crowd is really getting behind and helping with their careers. So it's
and it all kind of culminates at the end of the year.
Yeah.
There's that famous picture where it's myself, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, Beth Phoenix, Cody, Evan Bourne, Kofi with the titles.
Yeah. Super cool.
Great picture. Great photo.
Wasn't supposed to be tweeted out, but we'll talk about that later.
It was not me who did it, by the way.
All right. Anything? Do you have any follow-up?
Not really. This was a weird week because it's still like last week was the Australia episode, but this week has like the footage from it.
Yeah, that's funny. Interesting. Yeah.
So, and it makes me realize, okay, maybe I did, like I said, like not have all my stuff with me, and I'm gone like all of a sudden because as you can tell, the past two episodes were kind of thrown together. As if I didn't know I was going to be gone. Where it's like, so I have Big O sending stuff. Chiapetta, my dad, Stanford. But this week I'm on my set. So I don't know. I don't remember. I just got home and quickly filmed some things.
You said, you tweeted, long layover, 5-hour lay. Oh, actually, we'll get to the tweets in a second.
All right.
Before I move on from the pipe bomb thing, I wanted to put the Know Your Bro here because it relates. So let's tell them what Know Your Bro is.
Know Your Bro, real simple. Ask a question on Twitter. Use the hashtag Know Your Bro. If I answer it on air, well, Mark will surprise me with the question. And if I answer it on air, I'll send you one of these 8x10s available on mattcardonamerch.com. All
right. Know Your Bro. At Joey Huds. How jealous were you when Punk got to do the pipe bomb? Do you think at the time you could have cut that type of promo? Was there a particular line that really popped you from the promo? Hi at Cole Cabana. That was his question.
The Cabana line was great. I think if I would have cut that promo, even if it was delivered as well, even if it was the same exact verbiage, it wouldn't have, captured the emotions of the fans because Punk was this guy that everyone was familiar with on TV. I wasn't yet.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it would have spoke to a small portion of the audience, but Punk, was everybody really,
Yep.
So I think Punk was the perfect guy to do it as well. I don't think anybody could have, yes, could I have said the same words and paused the same and turned and said like, I could have done it.
Yeah.
But it was all Punk, his delivery. It didn't feel like a promo. It felt real because part of it was real, if not all of it, but in the sense that it was a TV show. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, 100%.
There was so much going on behind the scenes that made that so I hate to use the word iconic, but I think it really is.
Right. Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. And my favorite thing, I think, is he starts getting cheered and then turns it on them and, stays as a heel. So, and his lines were great. It was like, you still buy the same cups, but you're cheering me. So I thought that was great. And also, I will say this promo, very interesting, I think, in my life, in that, one, it's like one of those trickle down things. One, I never knew who Colt Cabana was before he said, "Hi, Colt Cabana." I Google Colt Cabana. I see he's got a podcast. I say, there are wrestling podcasts other than Stone Cold Steve Austin or whatever.
Austin didn't have the podcast.
Okay. Well, so I said there are wrestling podcasts. Right. And then I started listening to Colt Cabana and, started to really love wrestling.
And now he critiques your audio.
Now he critiques my audio. But also, I thought about that as starting a podcast myself from him. So interesting trickle-down effect. All right. Just because he wanted to say hi to his friend in a promo, which is wild.
I love it.
All right. A little follow-up. This is a critique. So Matt Davis says, Mark, once again showing his ignorance. Quote, maybe an off day? Dude thinking these guys have all the time in the world, off days, free pay-per-view codes, unlimited free merch. It's a world of leisure. Nothing but glamour, perks, and limitless leisure, buddy. Matt Davis, this guy critiques me all the time.
There's no off days in the middle of a loop.
Look, couple things. One, that question was a legitimate question. And I asked that because in my world, you get some off days.
So the only time I can recall off days, and I'm saying true off days, not like a travel day where you're not wrestling.
Right.
It would still involve travel. It was during this weird time where, let's say you're on SmackDown, you would do a house show Saturday, Sunday. There would be nothing Monday because it's Raw.
Yes.
So you'd have off.
Right.
I hated having off because
of course.
You're on the road spending money, not making money.
Yeah.
And then when I want to say it's 2016-ish when they do the draft, they really do the Raw and SmackDown. For a while there were no SmackDown live events on Mondays. So if you're on SmackDown, which I was, you had off Monday, which sucked because for a bunch of different reasons. It sucks because A, you're on the road spending money, not making money. And the other reason it sucked is because the way these loops work is you start in city A and you drive to B, wrestle, drive to C, and so on and so forth. But if there's no Monday show, right?
Yep. That
drive from the Sunday show to the Tuesday show is super long because there's no stop in between. You know what I'm saying?
I see.
So it sucked.
So it was an off day, but sometimes could be a 6-hour drive.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, my point there is, okay, just wondering. I thought maybe you had time to go to see the Eiffel Tower or whatever the heck.
I have seen the Eiffel Tower, but
whatever. But then the other thing too is, Davis, I know some of the answers to these questions. I'm asking because we're doing a podcast and there are people that don't know. So suck it. Dennis Reynolds. I love the Yoshi /Regal/Christian story. Did ribs involving opponents being switched happen often on overseas tours or house shows?
No, I wouldn't say often. If it ever happened to me ever again, I'm trying to think, did it ever happen to me ever again? Maybe one time that I can't recall. I don't want to say it never did, and someone's like, yes, it happened this one time. I can't recall.
Right.
Yeah. No. The answer is no.
Okay. Got it. All right. Before we get into the information for this week, let's talk about the Broski of the week. And before we hit that, let's hear a little word from our sponsors.
The Major Pod Network has a new tag team partner, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Everybody needs some liquid courage to make their own weekly purchases. Scratch that figure itch and scratch that PBR itch.
Get your PBR beer, get your PBR hard coffee, and get your PBR stronger seltzer.
8%? If you're listening to this, you're already a major mark. Now it's time to become a major PBR mark.
Use the hashtag MajorPBR and post your pictures and videos of you major marking out.
Pabst Blue Ribbon and the Major Pod Network, the new tag team champions of the world.
Of the world!
But we're definitely not getting any new figures from Mattel.
The Broski of the Week.
All right, Broski of the Week, what do we got?
Broski of the Week, all you got to do, guys, to be the Broski of the Week is leave a review on iTunes. Please, 5-star rating as well. Leave a review, screenshot it, find my pinned tweet at the top of my Twitter at the Matt Cardona, quote tweet that, put that screenshot in, and use the hashtag Broski of the Week. If I read your review, you will get this 8x10. You will get the Broski of the Week headband, and you will get the exclusive Broski of the Week sticker. You can't get the sticker anywhere else, but you get the other things on MattCardonaMerch.com. Also available on MattCardonaMerch.com. I got a big match coming up with MDK, Mr. MDK, Nick Gage, and he wears a lot of gas station bandanas. So I was thinking I need a bandana, but I don't want to go to the gas station. So I have my good friends at Pro Wrestling Tees create me. Let's get this baby out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby.
Look at this bandana, baby.
There you go.
So I'm not sure how I'm gonna tie it, what I'm gonna do with it, but get your bandanas on ProWrestlingTees.com/Matt Cardona.
I think backwards like Tupac.
Maybe. All right, Broski of the Week is Seth Alney. Here we go. Back in the end days of WWE's ECW, I had lost interest in that show until my brother informed me that they repackaged Zack Ryder. I tuned in to see Ryder literally and figuratively add color and life to the product for a short time. After that run, I was always ready for more Ryder TV time, but it wasn't happening. Luckily, Matt Cardona is an innovator and gave us the true Long Island story. I was hooked. Like clockwork, I was there every week for the new release. Ryder literally kept me glued to WWE product that year, hoping to finally see him get the push he deserved, and he did. Fast forward to now, and Matt is innovating again with a podcast revolution, including MC True Long Island Story, that has given us all the feels again to relive the Ryder revolution. Thank you, Matt and Mark, for this. Take care. Spike your hair. Well, Seth, you are the Broski of the Week, buddy.
Hell yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's talk about the tweets from 10 years ago. July 7th, 2011, just landed in L.A. from New Zealand. 5-hour layover. Then flight to New York. New episode of Z True Long Island Story will have to come tomorrow. Sorry, broski. So there you go. You got home. Well, probably woke up the next day, filmed a bunch. You were a day late, though.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Matt Cardona, 4th of July. I was on Raw tonight, and I had music. We'll talk about that in a second. And then July 2nd, history was made tonight in Melbourne, Australia. I defended the Internet Championship for the very first time, and I won. And let's talk about...
We got to put the picture. I'm going to give you a picture, put it up right here on the YouTube.
Okay, please.
Walking out with the title.
Perfect. So let's talk about the matches. Crazy Loop, every day in a row, as we saw, as we talked about. So here we go. 7-1-11, Zack Ryder defeats Primo, Acer Arena in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. 7-2-11, Zack Ryder defeats Primo, Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia. Let me ask you a quick question. These arenas, huge, regular, like what are they? Big? Like what am I picturing?
Regular size, it's not like when they went and did that giant stadium a couple years ago. No.
Right. Okay.
Regular size.
7-3-11, Zack Ryder defeats Primo, Burstwood Dome in Perth, Western Australia. Zack Ryder defeats Primo on 4th of July.
Yeah, look at that.
At the Adelaide Entertainment Centre in Adelaide, South Australia. Question, were you bummed to be on the road for the 4th of July?
Sure.
Yeah. Especially, where people... But I guess that's probably why, because the ticket sales on a 4th of July probably wouldn't be great, because people are barbecuing. So you go somewhere, they're not celebrating the 4th of July. 7-5-11 WWE Heavyweight Title number one contendership Brisbane Cup Battle Royal. CM Punk wins. There's a bunch of people. You're also in that match. It's in Brisbane Entertainment Centre, Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. And then at the final house show, Jack Swagger defeats Zack Ryder at the Vector Arena in Auckland, New Zealand. So a flight involved there. All right. So
I love working Primo.
Yeah.
These matches were probably relatively quick. I love working Swagger as well, Jake Hager. So fun little loop for me. Bunch of night offs. With Swagger, it was hard hitting for sure. But night off in the sense that it was fun and easy.
What about the Battle Royal? You see that, you're like, yes?
I hate Battle Royals. I think Battle Royals suck.
Right.
Is there ever like, and listen, I'm like the Battle Royal king. I've won a lot of Battle Royals.
Yes.
But like, is there ever like a good Battle Royal?
One that I know of, the Creative Pro Wrestling King of Cap Battle Royal, that Wally Allen won the Battle Royal by eliminating me over the top. We had a year and a half long storyline building to this Battle Royal, and he overthrew me and won, and it was the biggest pop, I think, in Cap history.
Oh, wow.
So that was a good Battle Royal. Watch that, guys. It's on YouTube. All right, so let's talk about this defending the title against Primo.
Yeah, so I had the belt with me, and this is, remember, the kids' Intercontinental title that I customized into the Internet Championship. Had it with me, always ready, right? And I think I like joked that I was going to come out with it, and then like Cena said I should. Not that I have to do whatever Cena says, but if, like, he was like kind of on my side here, so if he says to do it, I'm like, well, I'm going to do it. And did I get in trouble afterwards? I got, told not to do it again in a very nice way by IRS Mike Rotunda.
And then did he give a reason?
Well, because think about it. Like, it made perfect sense. Like, I'm coming out with a kid's title. Nobody knows what it is.
Right.
I got it.
Somebody in Australia might be like, oh, he's the champion.
Yeah.
Especially a house show. Do you remember which city that was?
No idea.
All
Maybe
right,
the first city. Maybe the first one.
Ace or yeah. All right. One of those cities you defended.
Yeah.
And then in the episode, there's some cool footage from a house show match. And,
Well, yeah, so the show starts with me doing my opening during my entrance.
but hold on a second before we get to that. Before we get to the show, a couple things. Okay. So last week was the Raw Roulette. That's why it was a very weird show. And then this week was the 4th of July episode on Raw. Okay. So on TV, you do a segment. This is not, but you talk about it in the show. It's a very weird segment. If you could talk to me about this. So you're on Raw. It's the taped Raw from Las
Something
Vegas.
happens with, I don't know if they're the Nexus or the new Nexus or whatever Nexus they are. It's Otunga.
Yep.
Michael McGillicuddy, Curtis Axel.
Non-title match. They lose or whatever, retain.
So
whatever. Lose or
I come out and I with my music, I just say like, "Woo, you know it,"
and then you
That's
walk
it.
away.
And like nothing happens the next week. Okay.
So they tell you this, and you're like,
And they don't tell me, like, I'm not asking questions. To me, it's like, all right, I get to come out on stage. I get
Sure.
to be on Raw. This is
Yeah.
with music.
yeah.
I later find out years later, and I haven't found, like the, what's it called? Like, I don't want to say like the script, essentially,
Yep.
where like the first draft, I don't know if it's supposed to be this Raw or the next Raw, where like I become the new leader of the Nexus. But no one ever said that to me before. Like during the, while that was all going down. No one said, okay, and then next week you're going to join or form the new, I think it was going to be like the Woo Nexus or something like that. But like I no one ever told me like this was a plan until years later I found out because someone, an XW writer, like held on to the script.
Holy crap.
So if anyone's listening to this and has that script, because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I ever was given the script, maybe just told about it.
Right.
You
It
know?
says it was in a script. Wow.
So I would love to like read the script and literally like read it out loud on this.
Right.
So if anybody has that, I would love to figure out the deal. And it's funny that like no one, explained that to me at the time.
Blown away. What an interesting thing that would have that would have been at the
It would have
time.
been awesome. I would have taken like the Nexus logo and just spun it so the N was a Z. I would have made it. Oh, it would have been great.
Right. And then, so they would have split CM Punk from it, I guess.
I think he already left.
Oh, right.
Or did he not join yet?
No, he
don't
was the
know.
leader of the Nexus going into this pipe bomb promo, and then I think that it just like spurned into like, oh, he doesn't need it, you know?
I'm not quite sure.
Anyway, all right, so that's what was happening on Raw. Episode 21, and yeah, like you said, it opens. You're doing the open, and you're walking to the ring, which is cool.
Yeah, and eventually I would do this a lot where I would bring out the flip camera, and like 9 times out of 10 I wouldn't use the footage, but I would like use it as part of my entrance, and like people would feel like I'm filming them, you know?
Right,
and I'd
get
like
excited.
scan the crowd. It's even in one of the video games.
Right.
It was cool, and sometimes I would use the footage if something really cool came. Ended up showing up in there.
Right. So then the next shot, you're back at home in front of your set, and you
Back home,
mentioned,
baby.
you mentioned you were on Raw. So then you show that little weird segment we just talked about. Super weird.
I wasn't allowed to show footage, but I guess I was like, well, F it. I'm on Raw. I'm going to show this baby.
Yeah, hell yeah. Then a little transition. Peter Venkman and Ziggler figure in like there's a painting or a drawing. It was super
Someone
cool.
made that. It was cool.
Great little picture. And then Big O is back. He says he's still growing. I always
you could
feel
tell
like
you could tell it's a filler episode, and I'm like asking people to send things in
yeah.
because I was just pressed for time. As the tweet says, I come home and I need to get the episode out.
Hey Big O, can you give me a check-in? Sure. Still growing.
That's it. That's it.
Sign of the week. It's a Zach to the Future sign, which
I love that
deal.
sign.
Yeah.
Because I love the movie Back to the Future, one of my favorite movies. I love that sign. I'll never forget it. And you know what I love about like the overseas tours, and this is when overseas is in Australia, is that like they bring like a photographer. I think that might have been Johnny Photo. So like it's not on TV, right? So if you see a sign and you want to get a cool shot, you go and pose in front of it. Johnny Photo takes a photo. It's on www.com. You steal it, you save it, you know?
That's cool.
Or after you know what I'm saying? Like there's so much freedom.
Yep.
If it was on TV, I probably couldn't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. Then you go to
That just made me remember. I wonder if there's pictures of this anywhere. Some unreleased Zach to the Future gear.
Oh.
Never came out.
I thought for sure that you have
Never.
worn Zach to the Future gear.
Never. Never.
Why didn't you wear it?
Never made it.
Oh,
Designed
never made
it.
Oh,
For
you
some reason,
designed it. Got it.
Never made it.
I think you should. Matt to the Future.
Doesn't make sense.
Sure it does. Matt, so Scott Stanford is rapping again. He raps for a very long time. He does finish. He does finish strong.
He does finish strong. I will say that.
With like a nice Bismarcky. He's doing
And
pretty
then
good.
I say in the episode, like, Stanford, what does your family think when you're making these videos?
Right, and I 100% know that you 1,000% you meant that with all fiber of your
When
being.
I was watching the episode back this morning, I spit out my eggs when I said that line. That's how funny it was. 'Cause I know how much I meant it.
Yeah, see exactly.
I know how much I meant it. I love Stanford. We got to get him on here.
Yeah.
Scotty,
Yeah.
we need you on.
Text Broski back. Broski of the week. There's a dancing Broski. I don't know. Is he in a break room? Is he just
I don't know
like,
where he is. So this guy, he lived in Long Beach where I was and would be like always out. His name's Rocco. He would always come and like crush it on the dance floor and stuff like that. Super cool dude. And he was the Broski of the week. He said in the video, he had the shirt. Why not? It was perfect. It was a little weird, like months later when I see he's in my apartment when I'm not there with Chiapetta. Because like Chiapetta, like when he did like the True Long Island Story, or even before that, when he was just like, he was like Doug Funny, where you open up that closet and it's that green sweater vest, like over and over and over. It was like him with that Broski shirt, because he just wanted to get recognized when he was out. Oh, you're Chi from the show, and it worked. It got him. Listen, I'll tell the story now. It's oh my god. All right, so it's WrestleMania 28. So I'll fast forward a little bit. He meets some girl online, based off like his fame through the internet show.
Okay.
And like he's telling me that he's gonna meet this girl, and I'm thinking like this like maybe catfishing was just becoming a thing, or it wasn't yet. I'm thinking there's no way this girl's real, right?
Okay.
Sure enough, we're in Miami at the club, and she comes and like it's real. I couldn't believe it. It's really her. So that WrestleMania, I let she stay in my hotel.
Yeah.
And we got like a cot, like a rollaway, and so they left the club. Whatever. I go back a couple hours later. It's my room, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I don't care what he's doing in there. It's my room. I'm not waiting or anything, you know?
Yeah.
So I obviously interrupt something, right? You know?
Okay.
And like, it is what it is. Like, I got to go to sleep. I probably have access in the morning, whatever. And like, I think he's going to be so pissed at me the next day, right?
Yeah.
But it's the opposite. He's like, oh my God. He says, I'm like, thank God you came back when you did, because I couldn't have lasted much longer.
Well, you have to have him on and ask him about that.
Saved by the Broski.
That was great. And then the dancing guy, in my mind, he's like at work. He's got some time. You know, there's nobody there. He's in the break room, puts on some music, dances away, sends
He's
a
the
video.
best. He's awesome.
Yeah. You now you're doing a new contest. Know your bro. You're going to give them a T-shirt and 8x10, which sounds very familiar. Which, by the way, the 8x10 you held up, very similar to your Matt Cardona 8x10 that you hold up all the time. So they're sort of like same dark background, same person. Very similar. 8x10 and a T-shirt you're going to give away for Know Your Bro.
Yeah, it's a fun little like sweepstakes or contest. Just to it's twofold. A, it is generally to thank people for their support.
Yep.
Right. But it's also okay if you notice they have to answer certain questions. Do you know?
I
what
knew
I'm about
this
to say?
right away. I knew this right away.
What? Okay. Let's see. Let me say it, and you tell me if it's what you were thinking.
Okay.
To answer these questions, they got to go back.
Yep.
They got to go back and watch the old ones.
So I know you're sitting there going, man, episode 1 doesn't have as much as whatever this episode that blew up. So can we get these episodes with more views? So 100%. I got it. It was a great idea. People have to go back and look at this stuff, and then also the stuff kind of becomes lore. You're like, okay, that was a big moment in the show.
Right.
And by the way, you're seeing the questions right now, so it's just like, what episode did so and so debut, and that kind of stuff. So cool idea. My question is, did you get a lot of was this popular? Did you get a ton of emails? Were you like, I wish I got more?
Honestly, I have no memory of this at all. Like when this came out, I was like, I did this, so I was like, it's like knowyourbro@hotmail.com. I should see if I can log into that.
Yes. Yes.
I really should. Maybe for an update next week, I'll do that. I'll see if I can log in.
All right. Okay.
Next is just clips of me wrestling Primo in Australia.
Great.
Which I thought was fun. Primo is the best, man. He's so underrated. Listen, in wrestling, there's so many underrated people, right? But I think he is like criminally underrated. Criminally underrated. So entertaining, can be vicious if he needed to be. It's just so smooth in the ring, can do it all.
Yeah. I love the spot you did where you get to the top rope, or he gets to the top rope, but you're too far away, so he asks you to move in.
Yeah.
And then you say, Are you serious, bro? It's great.
Yeah.
Good spot. I love that. I think I might steal it. So who's filming this?
That's a good question. Must be. I thought it was Justin Roberts, but he's in the ring in the very beginning. So maybe it's the doctor.
Gotcha. You just handed him the flip and it was like, can you film something?
And then maybe it becomes Justin later.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
And then nobody's like, hey, you can't use house show footage.
No one's watching at this point.
Yeah. Okay.
No one. I mean, office wise is watching.
Okay, this next segment, all timer for me. I think I love it.
First we have the
fun.
mug. The mug.
Oh yeah, you put over your little mug from the Create shop.
Yeah, those sucked.
Do you count that as because it was created? You count that as merch? Okay.
Yes.
So you have all of that.
Yes.
So then when that comes out, you're like, crap, I have to buy 9 things or whatever.
Yeah. What I hate about that mug, and even listen, if you go to ProWrestlingTees.com/MajorPod, I think there's even a MC True Long Island Story mug. There might not be. If there is, that's on ProWrestlingTees.com/MattCardona. Buy them, of course, but they're too small.
Yes.
Like you get 10 ounces, you get 10, 90. You can't do a 12 ounce or anything.
Yeah, you can't do a large one. Yeah, it's annoying.
You 10, it's like at the brim.
Right.
at the brim.
Yeah. I feel you. I'm a big coffee cup guy in the morning. All right. So then
It's a great segment.
man, for a lot of reasons. Number one, she's talking to you on the phone. You say, pick me up.
No, I think he's talking to my dad.
Oh, that's what it was? Okay.
He's talking to my dad like on speakerphone.
So pick me up.
Chi gets all this done on his own.
Great.
So Chi was pivotal before he becomes a character. And that's kind of like, it's almost, listen, I'm not comparing you and Chi, but in the same way that like, when this pandemic hit and you were on these Zoom calls, we're like, well, you might as well just be on the goddamn show.
Right. He was
because
there,
and it's not like people didn't know who you were. It's not like you didn't come on ever before.
Right.
But you were legit producing, but you would, I'd say 9 times out of 10, not on the episode.
Right. Oh,
Didn't make sense for you to be.
Yeah.
So similarly, Chiapetta was helping me so much. Well, why not just become a character? Then it just, it helps me because it adds another character. And then you could add like another dynamic to the show.
Yep.
And it just helped. I mean, it ended up being a bad decision.
Jeez.
No,
All right,
I love you, Chi.
So Giappetta, he shows up to your dad's house. Your dad's in the pool. He's like, "What are you doing?" Your dad's floating in the pool next to the Melina cutout.
Yes.
And he's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm with my lady friend." And your dad, got to put him over here. Amazing. I mean the growth from that first line of the first time he was in a thing to that. Like he nailed that line, great, it was believable and all that stuff. Nowadays,
I don't know how many takes it was, but
right, but it was great. I'm with my lady friend, he says, and then whatever, he's like, I'm a mofo, and that was it. But I just noticed that both of them did really well, and your dad is feeling more comfortable in this, and I popped. I legitimately laughed. I thought it was very funny,
and it was. I'm telling this John Morrison story, and it really has nothing to do with me at this point anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I'm hoping that there's going to be a huge payoff, and eventually there is.
Right.
I don't want to spoil, what happens, but we kill John Morrison.
I don't want to spoil it, but spoiler alert.
We kill him.
Okay.
And that made so that we knew, obviously. I'm not going to get into full detail, but let's just, since I brought it up, we knew John Morrison was leaving WWE.
Yeah.
So like, we got to kill you off the show. So, but my episode airs before he technically left WWE. So like all the dirt sheets are reporting that he's going to leave WWE based on the fact that I killed him off.
Oh my God. Did you get nervous that you were getting in trouble or not?
I didn't care at that point.
Okay.
I thought it was funny.
Interesting.
But he's back. Now he's back and I'm gone.
Yeah. The ghost of John Morrison was at your party.
I love Jomo. Even yesterday, he came over 4th of July. He came over a little late because he was too busy like filming some social media promo for Raw, like he was just doing on his own. Like he's still always doing stuff on his own, and I respect that a lot about him and admire that. And it's good to be surrounded by people who will I guess bring you up, and like you see people out there like hustling and making moves for themselves and stuff like that. And those are the kind of people I want to be associated with and around.
100%. Good point. He made a movie by himself somehow.
A couple movies.
Yeah. So then the final shot, you go back and forth from your set and like me on Facebook, like in the crowd in Australia. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then there's actually a secret scene after the credits.
Bonus.
And it's Dad and Melina in the pool, and he's like, babe, you're getting a little too red.
Yeah.
Something like that.
And she's got to flip over, and then it's like you see the cardboard back.
Yeah, great. Phenomenal. Funny little thing. Liked it. All right. Before we finish off the show, let's hear a little word from our sponsors. And we're back. All right, Broski, are you serious, bro?
Are you serious, bro?
I am serious, bro. All you got to do, guys, is tweet me something that will pop me. Use the hashtag Are You Serious, Bro? And if I say it on air, you'll get that 8x10, and you'll get some recognition, I guess. This is from MMA Guy 91. They used to say, this bud's for you, but this PBR is for me. Top 200 on this Peloton ride. And he used the hashtag, are you serious, bro? Hashtag major PBR and hashtag major fitness challenge.
Hell yeah.
So I thought that was a good way to start plugging the major fitness challenge. It's something we've been doing for almost 2 years now, but we're kind of giving it a little kick in the butt. Hoping everyone gets in shape for this summer. And use the hashtag major fitness challenge and hashtag major PBR. Because guys, you can listen. It's all about moderation. You can enjoy a couple of these stronger seltzers. And
170 cals.
Yeah, look at this. Listen, we're ending the summer at Major WF Pod Live 9, and we're gonna give away a Cardillo weight belt. And if you don't know who Cardillo is, he made Hogan's belts, Macho Man's belts, and now he's making a major PBR belt. We'll give it away at Live 9 for somebody who uses the hashtag major PBR and major fitness challenge. Listen, we're not looking for the person who gains the most muscle, loses the most weight, just someone who uses it, I guess, the most, really. And it's not like who did it 100 times versus 99 times. So like literally we'll pick someone at random, but the more times you use it, the better your chances are.
Yeah, it's like a raffle ticket. Like if you have 100 raffle tickets, you have more chance of winning.
There you go.
All right, so this episode, characters debuted, none but returning. Chi, Dad, Big O, Primo, Stanford. So big episode. 207,462 views right now. This one's kind of down, and it was 6 minutes and 32 seconds.
A little long.
Analytically, I'm wondering if it was because of the length. But
some of them do get ridiculously long because I feel like I have to show the Raw footage. How can you have this show about want to get on Raw so bad, and then you finally get on Raw, you don't show it?
Right, but plus Scott Stanford's doing a 3-minute rap.
Yeah, Stanford's thing did not need to be that long. It could have just been that end piece.
One line. Yeah.
One line.
Anywho.
Typical Stanford.
ProWrestlingTees.com/Major WF Pod, ProWrestlingTees.com/Matt Cardona, ProWrestlingTees.com/Mark Sterling. Today I am wearing this AEW sweater.
Do you work for AEW?
Cutoff that you can get at shopaew.com. By the way, Jade Cargill shirts. Use code THATB. Get 10% off. Jade Cargill shirts. Check that out. What else do we have to plug? Broski. Oh,
I mean, what's that?
My big thing. Tomorrow, Micro Brawlers. My Micro Brawlers go on sale. 11:30 for the Patreon, 12 o'clock for general public. 100 signed, 100 unsigned. There will be a password. Check it out.
Those are going to sell out. We know that. Just like
yours are in the mail already.
Live 9 tickets sold out. Oh, thank you very much. It looks great.
Yeah.
The Live 9 tickets sold out. Not that it has anything to do with, MC Trillion on a story, but yeah, there's definitely the majority of the listeners of this show are listeners of the Major Wrestling Podcast. So we thank you guys for making that show so successful. I'm writing it. It's going to be awesome. Kowloon, Stomp in Kowloon. Right before SummerSlam, baby. We're working on something for a little SummerSlam watch-along party thing. But I think for now, let's just enjoy some PBRs and like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Buy all the merch. MattCardonaMerch.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Matt Cardona. And take care. Spike your hair.
Just take care.